What's up, y'all? So, as we knew, Clarissa was going to make a statement about the purse being disclosed at the $500,000. And per usual and predictably, she's saying that everybody is wrong. Her statement on Twitter says, I see what y'all trying to do, but I made over $1 million each fight since Savannah Marshall. I literally have a $8 million deal. What the Georgia Athletic Commission disclosed is the guaranteed base purse on record, which is the amount I was comfortable receiving up front and having publicly disclosed. That figure does not represent my total compensation for the event. My earnings extend beyond the guaranteed purse and include participation in the overall business of the event, including gate revenue, sponsorships, and any other event-related revenue streams. Out of respect for my opponent's privacy, I won't speak on her compensation or the terms of her agreement. I know my opponent was paid her highest fight purse. Hashtag Claressa Shields, hashtag quote, hashtag win records. So I'd like to say this. First of all, I know when I made the report, I did say that that was the base amount, right? And most channels that I've listened to and watched as well said the same thing. Nobody is saying that the 500,000 was all that she was receiving. Not that I heard. Perhaps there might have been people out there saying that, but at any rate, the $500,000 is clearly stated that it was the base purse. And she said what she was comfortable disclosing. Since when have we seen Claressa be uncomfortable disclosing how much money she made? She's the same girl who sat in the store, like in a public store. I think it was a Louis Vuitton store, counting out thousands of dollars in public, not at her home, not even in her car, but in the store, counting out thousands of dollars. So when has she ever been modest about her earnings? Every time she turned around, and even in this post, she's mentioning the $8 million deal. So that's why, again, people tend to not believe Claressa, because the inconsistencies that she displays all the time. And I just like to say, the only reason people are even talking about this is because all of the talking that she does. I said this before and I will say it again. If you don't want people talking about your business, stop telling your business. You can't post your business all day, every day, all the time and think that no one is going to have an opinion on it, that no one is going to say anything, that no one is going to, voice what they feel or think. I don't know what Claressa Shields' thought process is behind this. I don't understand why she doesn't understand this concept. Okay. Like I said, she's never really been shy before. And at this point, I don't even know why she put out a statement. It really doesn't even matter, to be honest with you. But since the topic of conversation has been numerous times from her, how much she makes, how rich she is, how broke other people are, that's why this is a thing. What's interesting for me about Claressa is that she's the type of person that creates a problem and then gets mad that the problem exists. And then when she's done wanting to face whatever the outcome is of what she's done, she lashes out at people. And she just kind of rinses and repeats that same type of cycle and that same type of habit. And it's to the point now where she can't contain it and she can't control it anymore. When all of this first started, it looked very favorable for her, right? She looked like the champion that she is, in good esteem with everybody. Everybody is, rooting for her and everything like that. And then she makes a couple of huge mistakes, in my opinion, with her interaction with Layla Ali, with her deciding to be with a married man who's in a very public and messy divorce. And in each of those really major instances, she's not ever taken accountability for her role and how they went down. And then when people come with, hard evidence backing up what they're saying, for example, when Layla Ali did her response to everything that Claressa had been saying, at that point, it doesn't matter. Just like when she called in to, I believe it was Hood Champions show, sounding just like herself, but pretending she wasn't Claressa, called in, and then by the end of the rant that she went on was referring to herself in first person instead of third person. And when people was calling her out about it, well, so what if I did? It's kind of like she has this thing that she does where she's never wrong. Everybody else is always wrong. Everybody else is always like hating. Everybody else is always doing everything. She just lily white. She's sleeping with a married man. I ain't done nothing wrong. She getting on folks' platforms lying. So what if I did? She disrespected a legend in the game. She deserved it. She ain't nobody. She ain't nothing. It's like, girl, at this point, I don't know what it's going to take for Claressa to realize that the hole that she's digging for herself is going deeper and deeper and deeper. Okay? Because the way in which she presents herself and the things that she says and does are just contrary to someone that is supposed to be successful. And the reason I said it is because if you want people to want to work with you, for example, somebody was saying they wanted a Claressa Shields doll and they were tagging Barbie and Mattel. You got to remember and recall what this brand is about. Barbie is about inspiration and positivity. That's not the brand that Claressa Shields has. And the one thing that Claressa does not understand is that your accolades and your accomplishments aren't enough. It's not enough. Because your accolades and accomplishments, but a bad attitude, that bad attitude cancels out everything else. Because people they have to want to work with you. They have to want to be around you. They have to feel like the interaction would be positive. And a lot of people say, oh, well, you don't know what the interaction will be like until you try. But the thing about that is people can only go by what you show them. That's the only thing people have to go by. When people don't know you, how you behave, how you carry yourself, how you present yourself is what sells you. That's what draws people to you or keep people away from you. Okay. Angel Reese had just recently gotten her Barbie. Okay. And we know that Angel Reese is in the WNBA and she has a buzz around her regarding her career. And we don't really see much of her private life out there. She's not in the comments cursing people out. She's not going in people's DMs cursing them out. She's not in people's DMs trying to friend them up, but then end up with their husbands. You see, you can't move like that and then get mad when you don't get the sponsorships that are big for you. The accomplishments are not enough. And for the life of me, I don't know who's on her team. And I don't know who can tell her this and let her know that you got a lot of making up to do, and quickly, if you're trying to transition from boxing. And the reason I brought that up is because Claressa was asking, what should she do essentially? She went to her, social media and was asking, I'm not going to say asking for career advice, but was getting a feeler for, okay, what should I do? Because I told y'all a while back, and I'm going to keep saying this, She doesn't necessarily want to keep boxing, but boxing is her biggest bag. And I'm willing to bet that once she fulfills her contract with Win Records, again, it's a 2-year deal, 4 fights. I'm willing to bet that she's not wanting to really return to boxing for a few reasons. One of which is being she wants to retire undisputed. Like she said that in a tweet. She was like, I'm going to die an undefeated boxer. That's what she said, right? The more fights she takes on, the more chances for that to not be true can occur. And that's why she's so strategic in who she chooses to fight. And that's why people give her a hard time about the fights that she has had. Because it doesn't seem as if she's challenging herself enough, especially when you have given yourself the title of GWOAT, as in greatest woman of all time. Okay. Number 2, boxing is hard on the body. It's not the workouts. Because, working out, we all should be doing that, right? But it's just the physicality of boxing. It's tough because when you get in that ring, you have to take some licks to give some. And that's hard. She's been doing that since she was 11 years old. So nobody is saying that she doesn't deserve to retire. Everybody deserves to retire. But what I am saying is that, Claressa, people have to want to interact with you. If you're trying to replace your boxing bag with something else, you have to win people over. And the only way you do that is through your attitude and how you respond to things and how people view you. Because yes, you can make some money, but you're closing yourself off to so much more if you don't adjust how you present yourself. And then if you don't adjust the overall view that people have, because brands and endorsements and sponsorships and stuff, they look at and they pay attention to the reaction of the people. And while you do have fans and while you do have people that will support you and stuff, there's a lot of people that do not. And so before these brands pump all this money into backing someone, they want to make sure that they not only get back what they invested, but a profit. Okay. They're not going to mess with their money. They're not going to fool with somebody who is not bankable, as in it's a sure deal that we going to make our money and then some off of this person. I remember a few years back when Chris Brown had all of these endorsements and all of these things. Like he had a big endorsement, I believe with Sprite, if I'm not mistaken. It was a huge deal. And when that Rihanna stuff happened, he lost every single endorsement he had. Chris Brown, big international superstar, talented. He was like really, like Chris Brown is still that guy, right? But at that time, when that whole Rihanna thing happened in 2009, Chris was getting it. Okay. And everybody turned their backs on Chris. He lost everything he had going at that time. Okay. So that's why it matters how you react. That's why it matters what you do. And Claressa tries to act as if her personal life doesn't matter. It does when you're trying to get people to put money into you and sponsor you. It does when the public at large doesn't agree with how you carry yourself. It does when you will cuss people out that you don't even know randomly just for having an opinion that you don't like. You see? So that's what's being lost on, I feel, Claressa, her team, the people who support her. You know, when you get online and you say some of the things that you say, it just doesn't look good. It doesn't look like you have the proper etiquette to even be in the same rooms as the people who you want sponsoring you. And I'm not trying to be on a high horse and talk down to anybody or talk about anybody, but Even in a regular job for regular folks like us, we have to carry ourselves a certain way to get to a certain level. It doesn't mean you can't be yourself. However, I do believe that you can make improvements. I do believe that you can think about what it is that you're saying and what impression it is leaving, which seems to be lacking when it comes to Claressa Shields. And no, I'm not trying to down her. And it's not because let me address this really quick, because some people feel like it's a colorism issue with Claressa and why she don't have support. It has nothing to do with her color. It's plenty of black women in all different shades, sizes, industries that's in the entertainment world that are supported regardless of their color, right? So let's not do this with the colorism thing, which is a very important part of who we are as black people. Colorism, we face colorism in our culture and outside of our culture. But the things that people are commenting on, the behaviors that people are commenting on, has nothing to do with her color, because the color of her skin, her shade of brown, is not what's doing these behaviors. Her shade of brown is not what's creating the buzz that's around her. Her shade of brown is not influencing her actions. She's making those decisions herself. She's saying those things herself. So the shade of her brown and colorism being the reason why people don't like her is weird to me. There's a lot of people who are not light skinned, who comment, who have an opinion that may be adverse to what she thinks it is and what she's doing. But again, when people talk about Claressa, it's more so about the things that she's said and done, not her shade of brown. So I just had to make this real quick because at the end of the day, we knew it was coming with the whole everybody lying thing. From what I saw, most content creators were saying that this was the minimum amount of money. But another good point is made about, since when is she shy, talking about what she felt comfortable disclosing. Since when is she shy about talking about her money? Okay. As always, you guys, if you haven't already, like, comment, share, subscribe, hype me up. And I like to hear from you guys. I'll talk to you in the next one.
Guys talking about Claressa Shields.
Yeah. Mute your TV for me. Go ahead. I saw I missed your call.
It's muted.
Okay, go ahead.
So I'm sitting up here listening to this live, and I see so much misinformation.
Okay, well, go ahead. Go ahead. Hold on. Go ahead. I want to hear you.
Lying, saying that this woman owes tax money. Why are y'all lying, saying that her image is ruined?
Well, hold on. Correct that then, because there's a lady who put out some tax records today on her site, and we were all like, where'd that come from? Like Claressa Shields owes money based on the document she provided. So clear that up for us, because I'm glad.
Y'all believe anything bad about Claressa Shields. Nobody's doing any fact checks. You guys are running behind Tasha K and Lakeisha Dean believing anything bad said about Claressa Shields when her life has been documented since she was 15 years old.
Well, hold on a second. Hold on.
T-Rex Shields.
Hold on a second. I'm going to let you talk because I'm not rude. And I'm not saying you're being rude. Now, I don't watch Tasha K. I don't even know who the other person is. But the ladies in the chat, they definitely know who they are. So just to let you know. But go ahead. I want to hear from you because I'm glad somebody who has a different opinion is calling in. But so you're saying the tax stuff isn't true?
You're lying on her name 24/7.
Okay.
24/7.
Give the facts.
She doesn't owe any money in taxes.
So the person who came out, the person who did that video and has that document floating around, that's a false document.
Very, very false. I know Claressa myself. So therefore, no, it's not.
Okay.
Me and him been together over a year and a half now. Now I don't know why they're mad. Maybe because black love was their thing, or they just loved them as a couple or something. But that would have nothing to do with me.
I was a fan of Claressa. I've done videos on Claressa. You go back on my channel saying she should be a gazillionaire. This is effed up. I don't see why this girl doesn't have gazillions of dollars with everything that she's accomplished. Now, in the last 2 months, that's where it's like I start doing these lives and let people call in and speak. But now you don't follow my channel, or you would have known that. But it's understandable because I just started doing these lives, so you probably don't even know who I was. But I spoke highly of Claressa.
I actually got hit to these lives because you're saying that my tickets aren't selling for the fight, and then you're saying that taxes, and then you're making up all this stuff about my image, and literally in the gym, training, running, getting ready for the fight, taking care of the family, and then you just keep on coming up with more and more lies, and then you're letting people come on your channel and spew more lies and don't even speak the truth. You don't. None of y'all have somebody lying about me every single day. Yeah, you on these lies.